Have you ever wanted to know how to do that? What I did right here is called a short hop, or otherwise known as a short range market garden. It is an important tech that makes Trolldier extremely deadly and viable in about any map without him being limited to sections of a map like low ceilings. It's also great at reducing airtime to get a kill fast and makes it way easier to combo gardens. Mastering short hopping will make you extremely lethal and will make you play Trolldier in a completely new light. By the time you initiate a short hop, there usually isn't enough time for your enemy to deal enough damage or let alone react to your attack. But now let's get into how to perform a short hop. So to perform a short hop, there are 3 different ways. The first method, in my opinion, is the best way to short hop in general. I call it the basic hop since it's the most used and it's the footwork of all the others. So this method guarantees a crit with a good amount of airtime to spare without worrying about swinging too late or being vulnerable in the air as much. And this short hop method will take anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds to take down your enemy from the time you fire a rocket to landing on average. So to start a short hop, first find an area on a map that has a low ceiling, and you should not be able to form a full scale rocket jump in this area. Once you are in a good area, you are now going to first jump and crouch at the same time, and then while in the air holding crouch, you are going to shoot a rocket under yourself, but only once you reach the peak of your jump or a little bit after it. A good sound indicator to shoot at is once you hear your jump sound is finished, that click sound you hear when you jump off the ground, you then fire your rocket. Also, some things to know: if you aim your rocket almost directly under you but not entirely, you will get more of a stationary jump, and if you want more of a lengthy vertical jump, you could shoot a little bit behind you. For most situations, firing the rocket almost directly under you or a little bit behind you will be the best for an effective short hop. And while you are in the air, you want to be holding crouch, because if you're not holding crouch, your hitbox will be closer to the ground, therefore giving you less time to swing. For all short hops, you want to be holding crouch after you fire your rocket to maximize the swing time you have. But you'll know you have done a short hop right, as it should look like you did a small pogo jump or a tiny rocket jump. But now that you know how to do a basic short hop, now let me get into how you could change up the dynamics and the versatility of it and adapt it to any area or situation you are in, like adjusting your height or vertical direction, or a mix of both while short hopping. So the 2 factors that determine your short hop is at what part of the jump you shoot your rocket at and how close or far you shoot your rocket at yourself. These 2 factors is what's going to control the type of short hop you do. So for factor 1, the time you shoot your rocket is what determines how much height you gain in your short hop. So if you shoot closer to the peak, you will go higher, and if you shoot closer to the ground, you will go lower, and everything in between will be a mix of both. And now for factor 2, the distance you fire a rocket at determines your height and your vertical direction. If you shoot your rocket right under you, you will gain more of a horizontal direction or height, and this could be good for enemies who are stationary or really close to you, but since you have more airtime, this could leave you open and vulnerable to enemies. So I'd recommend against doing short hops directly underneath yourself unless you're confident or sure. And the farther you shoot your rocket from yourself, the more of a vertical direction you will gain. This is great for getting right in front of your enemy if they are backing up or running away, and is a great way to cover ground to finish enemies extremely fast. The only downside to this though is since you have more of a vertical speed than horizontal, you don't have much air time, so swinging you would have to be really fast. Alright, so now that you know what factors control short hopping, let's get into the other methods. So for the second method, I call this one the quick takedown short hop, as this short hop is all about taking your enemy down really quickly, so your swing time has to be pretty fast as you don't have a lot of air time. It's also used in extremely closed in areas or against enemies where openings are limited, like against experienced players. This method is also mostly effective at close range, so don't expect much of a vertical or much height with this one. So to perform this, you will need to first jump with no crouching involved, just a plain simple jump. Then like before, you will then fire a rocket around the peak or a little bit after that. But after you have fired your rocket, you will then crouch in the air. Since this short hop is an even smaller jump, you will need to get as much air time as possible. The factors I talked about previously apply here as well, so feel free to adjust the type of jump. You will know if you've done it right, as it should look like you did a mini pogo jump or like you're a little bit over jump height level. Just note, since it is a way smaller jump, if you try to make it smaller, it will be even harder to hit. This method is by far the fastest and one of the best short hops you can do for close to mid-range effectiveness. If you master this method of short hopping, you will become unstoppable, as this method cuts out a lot of air time, so you'll be able to finish fights way faster. But that also means you have to be ready to swing fast as well. And you might be wondering why it's called a trick hop. Well, it's called a trick hop because sometimes your guardian might not register as a crit, so it could kind of be like playing tricks with you. Kind of like when you hit a speed shot and it doesn't register the crit. And I'd say you should get the guardian about 95% of the time, so I'd consider it pretty reliable. Also to note that if you want to practice this method offline, you will need to type this command net_fake_lag30, or it will not register your guardians offline. Alright, so now to perform a trick hop. An important thing to note is that there is no input jump. The rocket will be doing all the work guiding us. So instead of jumping at all, you will just crouch and shoot the rocket a bit far behind you, and then look back in front of you. You should have did a small jump with some decent vertical distance to it. It's basically the same as the other short hops, but without a direct jump input at the start. For trick hopping, it is best to crouch and shoot around the same time so you get the minimum height to guardian. The only thing controlling your vertical or height is where you fire your rocket. So if you want to do a more stationary trick hop, do the following. Start by walking forwards or holding W for a bit, and then shoot your rocket in front of you. And as you're shooting in front of you and while still holding W, this will sort of cancel out each other, making it more of a small stationary standstill type jump. If you want a longer range jump, just fire farther behind you. But yeah, that's about all there is to know about trick hopping. It's just a short hop without the jump, which makes it way faster in the bunch. So now that you know all the ways to short hop, you can now practice it and then mix in little things from here and there. Another thing to mention is that you could also short hop off of walls too, but the times you really need to do that is pretty rare, and it's honestly about the same way as doing it, just as normal short hops. Alright, now that I've covered everything, I'm going to give some tips and other pointers to hopefully help make mastering short hopping easier. So my first tip is to practice on small maps with not a lot of headspace, like the indoors on 2-4 and Junction. Will definitely help greatly, as you are forced to only short hop in these areas. And once you have felt like you've mastered a certain area, just keep finding smaller and smaller areas to short hop in. And for my second tip is to practice pogo rocket jumping on jump maps, as this can help teach and guide you on rocket positioning and timing. Okay, well that's about everything there is to short hopping. I'll be answering questions in the comments, and as well as updating the description of the video with tips and updates if I missed out on anything, or if I need to explain anything more in depth. I hope this guide was able to help you out, and you could also join my Discord as well for quick answers if you want to participate in events, giveaways, and Trolldier tournaments. It's basically a hotspot for everything Trolldier, and I also just opened a Trolldier only casual server if you want to see how chaotically fun it is, or to practice against others. The IP will be in the description, but anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.